What a great week. I actually got to spend the entire week focusing on Tech 40. I also got in a fun solo side mount dive on Saturday. But Pedro is on his way to start Tech 40, so the first thing that we do is spend some time at the pool. Key thing in the pool is just to get used to wearing doubles, donning a deco bottle, and we have some basic skills that you gotta do. So we worked on basic 6, valve drills, donning and staging your deco bottle, and valve drills. One of the key things that we try to establish in the pool is your buoyancy and maintaining position, working on your frog kick and your back kick. So we use some kind of stationary item to use as a visual reference. Today we're using a light. Then it's on to working on your valve drill. We do work on our valve drills quite often. It is the one skill that we pretty much do throughout all of the tech classes. Then we go to donning and staging your bottle. Pedro's doing a pretty good job of actually getting his deco bottle in place. It's solo side mount diving today. I'm just gonna do a quick dive before I head up to the mountains and do some mountain biking. So on Saturday, decided to do a solo side mount dive at La Jolla Shores. Visibility was phenomenal. It was at least 35, 40 feet of viz, and temperatures were hovering in the high 50s. I would say at least 58 degrees. Definitely highly recommend getting out to La Jolla Shores if that's all you can do. Or you can always go on a charter boat. Something similar to Dive Guide charters. If you're planning your dive within 100 feet of La Jolla Shores, there are a lot of marine life that you can just check out. On Saturday, I decided to just check out the little caves and nooks and crannies within the canyon wall. Here you're gonna see a bunch of rockfish just hanging out. But usually you'll see a lot of lobster. Of course, it would be almost sacrilegious if you didn't see an octopus at La Jolla Shores. Filming octopus is honestly my favorite thing to see. And there are a ton to choose from at La Jolla Shores. You cannot get disappointed whatsoever. I did end up spending quite a bit of time hanging out with this octopus. It didn't swim away, but it was just kind of crawling around doing its own thing. It didn't mind me videotaping it, so decided that I'll just hang out with it. At times, I feel like the Octo Whisperer. Get it? I also really like to come across the sheep crab. They look so prehistoric. It's almost like they're a cartoon character underwater. And this crab was pretty much no joke. It was like, dude, move on, quit bothering me. There are so many other fish you should be filming. You can just leave me alone. I've been seeing the pipefish more and more, and maybe it's just a matter of me being able to notice them now a lot easier, but I do love coming across them. I wish my video camera can do them justice. And here I am again. The great first drop off. Love this. Dive done on Saturday, and it's on to Sunday where I take the boat out. So on Sunday, I'm working on Tec 40 with Jason, Pedro, and Brian. A good crew. Great La Jolla Kelp Forest is not a problem with the Dive Guy boat. With twin 115s, I can pretty much get to any destination in a matter of just a few minutes. We really got lucky. The weather was just beautiful. The visibility was phenomenal. You couldn't ask for a more perfect day to go dive the kelp forest. Dive 1 for open water for Tec 40, we focused on staging our bottles at the anchor, working on basic 6, and we also did valve drill. Now basic 6 is not a PADI skill, but it is a pretty fundamental skill that I believe that every student should learn. Doing valve drills for the first time in open water is not exactly the easiest thing to do. Now we're back to donning our deco bottles. Again, not a very easy thing to do. You just got to remember to add a little more air to your BCD to compensate for your buoyancy. After we do our skills, we have enough air remaining to go do a fun dive. I'm feeling kind of like a dork and just wanted to see what my single side mount looked like. I do like diving side mount because it just gets those tanks off of your back. And fortunate for us, we ran into two fairly large black sea bass. This one was the smaller of the two, but it was still very friendly and just kind of hung out with us. And I did my best to get footage of this black sea bass, comparing them to the diver. Now, I would say maybe this one was at least 400 pounds. This one liked to follow Jason from behind. And then in a moment, you'll see Pedro swim right up to him. Comparatively speaking, Pedro is a pretty big sized guy. I would say hovering at around 200 pounds, and this guy is definitely far beyond heavier than Pedro is. Here comes Pedro. It's a good thing the black sea bass is protected. A fair, gentle giant lurking in the shadows. The marine life at Jolla Kelp Forest is thriving. There was a good hundreds and hundreds of female sheephead fish just swarming around as we swam about. I just love finding lobster. Just need to renew my fishing license, and who knows, maybe lobster dinner. I wasn't joking when I said that there were hundreds and hundreds of female sheephead fish swimming about. There were a ton of lobster just hanging under the shelf here. Looking out at the kelp forest is just so majestic. Looking at those tall, tall stalks. Fairly well spread out. I would say a good large size fish can easily swim through the kelp forest. Well, it's time to wrap things up and do our safety stop, so we ascend to 15 feet. At 15 feet, we just kind of hung out, and I just love this shot of a diver looking up above. The kelp forest of La Jolla Shores did not disappoint. I highly encourage you to at least get a chance to dive this location at least once. Hope to see you down below.